Use my code PAID10 to get 10% off your next order of Advanced GG. The Kepri Sting exotic gauntlets for the hunter got reworked for Destiny 2's Edge of Fate, so I've got a hunter build that's going to help you take advantage of this exotic. We are going to dive into this powerful new exotic, go over these subclass aspects and fragments, armor mods that you should be using. So if you guys are into videos like this, do not forget to stick around, hit that subscribe button for all the latest news and videos about Destiny 2's Edge of Fate. Now let's get into this.
Yo, it's time to subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. What are you doing?
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Like the video. Come on.
Hell
you know
yeah.
the drill.
Button.
And slap that like button.
So when the Edge of Fate released, Bungie changed it so the Kepri Sting is a bit different now. They dropped the True Sight and the Smoke Punch perks and added a new perk that states that killing weakened targets create a burst of weakening smoke and it returns smoke bomb energy. So what we're gonna do here is throw our smoke bomb. This guy is weakened, get a kill on him, and as you can see, we get about like a little less than half, maybe 1/3 of our melee back. And as you guys can see, when you get the kill off, it releases another burst of weakening smoke. The cool thing about this exotic is that it works from any weakening source. So you can use something like a weapon that has the Withering Gaze perk on it. States that aiming down sights for a short period of time without firing grants the ability to weaken the next target. So as you can see, let's just throw our smoke bomb away, aim down sights. Now this enemy is weakened, you can defeat him. As you can see, we got the melee energy back and we released the cloud of smoke. And you also have the collective obligation, so that way when you weaken targets, you can just store the weaken effect on your pulse rifle. So if we just weaken this guy right here, now we've got it on our pulse rifle, we can activate it. And now everybody we shoot is weakened, and we can just keep getting the perk over and over, getting our melee energy back. So now that we know how the Kepri Sting new exotic perk works, it's time to start building into it. Now we are going to be on the Prismatic Hunter subclass, and we're going to be taking the Shadow Shot Deadfall, mainly because the Shadow Shot Deadfall actually weakens targets, and this build is all about weakening those targets. And because of some of the fragments that we're using, we're going to also be able to gain Void Overshield because we're on the Void subclass. And we're also going to be taking Gambler's Dodge so that we generate melee ability energy every time we dodge. So just in case you happen to not get back all your melee energy through the exotic, you can just dodge and get it back instantly. Then of course we are taking the Snare Bomb. It is going to release a smoke cloud that actually weakens nearby targets, as you guys saw earlier. And we're going to be taking the Grapple Grenade. This is going to help us unravel combatants, and any enemy that we defeat that is unraveled, they are going to unwind into a tangle when defeated. So the grapple and the unraveling is going to help us build our dark side transcendence meter. Then we're taking the Stylish Executioner. Defeating a target affected by any elemental debuff grants invisibility and true sight. And after performing a stylish execution, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets. So this is just another way that we can get that weaken off. Then we have Gunpowder Gamble. Defeat targets with abilities, elemental debuff damage, or solar weapons to charge up an improvised solar explosive. Now the reason we're taking this is that you get 3 fragment slots with this, and Gunpowder Gamble is actually really strong, and we'll be able to get our Gunpowder Gamble very often because of everything that we're weakening, and we're also unraveling everything, so Gunpowder Gamble is going to be up a lot. Now getting into the fragments, we have Facet of Courage. Our Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets that are afflicted with the Darkness debuff. So when we throw just a smoke bomb down, you'll see it's going to hit for 177 and then 36, but if we get a Darkness debuff like Unravel, and then we throw our smoke, you'll see it does 179 and 36, dealing that increased damage, and the tick damage counts for more. Then we're taking Facet of Dawn. Powered melee hits against targets makes you radiant. Powered melee final blows make you and your allies nearby radiant. And I believe that the radiant buff is a 20% increase to your weapon damage. Then we have Facet of Hope. While you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. And an elemental buff counts as our radiant, our invisibility, our overshield, We're going to have all those up pretty frequently, so we're just going to have a lot of class ability energy coming back to us. And we have Facet of Protection. Facet of Protection is going to grant us a 15% increase to our damage resistance, and you just have to be within 15 meters of 3 or more enemies. And then we have Facet of Purpose. Every time we pick up an orb, it's going to grant us an overshield because we are on the Void subclass. So we dodge right here, kill this enemy, drops an orb. And just like that, we get some overshield. Now on our artifact, you're going to need to take Elemental Benevolence. Granting allies an elemental buff gives you class ability energy. This is going to give us a 15% increase to our class ability energy. Then we also have a Refresh Threads. Picking up an elemental pickup matching your subclass element grants energy to your least charged ability. This doesn't give you too much energy. It's like around like 10%, but it's better than nothing. Then we have Cauterized Darkness. Stasis or Strand debuff non-boss combatants take increased solar damage from all sources. And this is going to be a 30% increase to solar damage dealt. Now this is really good for this build because like I said, with the grapple, we're going to debuff them with the unraveling rounds. And then we can throw our Gunpowder Gamble grenade, which counts as solar. So that's going to be hitting 30% harder whenever we have the Cauterized Darkness active. Then we also have Elemental Coalescence. Defeating targets has a chance to create an elemental pickup matching your equipped super. And so whenever we pick up one of our Void Breaches, that's going to grant us class ability energy. Then we have Shield Crush. While you have Woven Mail, Frost Armor, or Void Overshield, and once again, we're going to be having our Void Overshield whenever we pick up an orb, our melee is going to recharge faster and deal increased damage. And while we're Amplified or Radiant, our grenade is going to recharge faster, and that is also going to gain increased damage. Now, as for the armor mods on the helmet, I have Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. So we'll get energy from our grapple melee and from the Gunpowder Gamble. And we have the Thermodynamic Siphon, which gives us an orb for solar and stasis weapons. Then on the arms, I've got 2 melee fonts. One melee font is going to give us a plus 20 to our melee, and 2 of them is going to give us a plus 40 to our melee every time we pick up an orb. And then we have the Firepower. Our grenade final blows create orbs of power. And what's cool about this is our Gunpowder Gamble will work to create an orb. And our grapple melee will work to make an orb. Then on the chest piece, I have Charged Up, increases the maximum number of stacks for armor charge. And on the leg armor, I have a Recuperation, replenishes our health when we pick up an orb. An Innervation reduces grenade cooldown when we pick up an orb. And then we have a Stacks on Stacks, picking up an Orb of Power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge. So right now we only have 1 armor charge. If we get a kill and pick this one up, we're going to go all the way up to 3. Then on the class item, we have a Reaper mod. After we do our class ability and get a weapon final blow, it will spawn an Orb of Power. We have an Outreach mod, reduces our melee cooldown when using our class ability. And then we have a Time Dilation, so our armor charge will actually last longer. As for the weapons, I have the Bold Ending Stasis Hand Cannon, and I got it with Demolitionist and Strategist. Kepri Sting is already giving us a bunch of melee energy back, so this is going to help us get our class and our grenade energy back, so we can just keep spamming those abilities. And since it's stasis, it's going to help us build our Dark Side Transcendence meter. Then we are using the Lord of Wolves because it is extremely powerful and it's going to help us build our Light Side Transcendence meter super fast. And then I have the Cynosure rocket launcher, got Impact Casing, Envious Arsenal, and Elemental Honing. I really like this rocket launcher because as you can see, we get some stasis damage, do some solar damage, get some void damage, get some strand damage, whip it out, and we got Elemental Honing times 4. That's a 30% increase to damage. We can just fire off a rocket, switch back to hand cannon. This still got times 4, and we can just rinse and repeat. And that is pretty much going to do it for the build, Guardians. Before we get out of here, do me a huge favor, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, drop a like if you found this helpful. As always, there will be a dim link in the description if you guys want to try this build out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.